Welcome to a self-published author's diary. I am Elodie Novodatsky. I write about first times, second chances, things that scare the crap out of me, and things that make me laugh out loud. I'll be speaking with you and sharing my adventures in self-publishing, the behind the scenes of writing, and the business side of it. And before we get started today, a small message from our sponsor, Anchor. Thanks for listening. Good morning. It's actually 4:30 p.m. on Thursday, April 22nd, when I'm recording this, but you might listen to it tomorrow morning. So good morning. I probably should just say hello. I'll try that next time. Or now. Hello. Before getting started, does it ever happen to you that you get validation from the bookstore you order books from, and it just makes you very happy? I ordered books from One More Page, which is located in Arlington, Virginia. It's an independent bookstore, and they're fantastic. I've gone to several events there pre-pandemic, and I order books from them quite often. Well, quite often, but sometimes. And I ordered two books I'm very, very excited about. I've ordered Wild Woman and the Blues, a fascinating and innovative novel of historical fiction by Denny S. Bryce. And the story is about, in a stirring and impeccably researched novel of jazz-age Chicago, in all its vibrant life, two stories intertwine nearly 100 years apart as a chorus girl and a film student deal with loss, forgiveness, and love, in all its joy, sadness, and imperfection. Like, it really sounds amazing. So I'm very excited about this book. And I also got a book by Tiff Marcello, which I actually double check how to say her name by her podcast, because Tiff has a podcast, and the podcast name of Tiff Marcello is Stories to Love. And it's a podcast where she fangirls over creators and find out all about their inspiration in hopes to boost our own inspiration. Tiff and I actually go way back. I bet I read one of her books years ago. It was a YA book, and it was so good. And actually she has a YA coming out, I think it's in October. But the book that I just bought from her is called In a Book Club Far Away. And it just sounds incredible. The very short summary for that one is from the author of Once Upon a Sunset and The Key to Happily Ever After comes a heartwarming and moving novel following three army wives, estranged friends, who must overcome their differences when one of them is desperate for help. The email I've received from One More Page bookstore said, "Hi Elodie, thanks so much for your order, blah 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 blah. Thanks again for your support. Great choices." And yes, I mean, I know those are great choices, but for the bookstore to say it too was weirdly, I don't know, it made me smile. So today I will share with you a little bit some questions I've received over the years. Just a few, not a lot. I've received quite a few questions. I've also done interviews with bloggers, reviewers, even journalists like Brittany Brito when she worked for the Baltimore Sun. And I still remember driving early Sunday morning to several gas stations to get copies of the Baltimore Sun from the weekend. And yes, that article actually hangs over the computer in our office. I've also written quite a few blog posts over the years as well, mostly when I was promoting new releases. So here are some of the questions I've received most over the years. What was the inspiration behind 1, 2, 3? If you do not know 123, it was the first book I published. The tagline to that book is, when 17-year-old Natalia's dreams of being a ballerina are killed in a car accident along with her father, she must choose, shut down like her mother or open up to love. I used to love dancing ballet as a kid, and I won a writing contest to go see the Opéra de Paris, like the behind the scenes. I think it was a poem contest when I was like I'm terrible with ages and grades because they're called different in France. So this is one of the things between that and Celsius and Fahrenheit and meter and miles. You would think I would be used to it by now, but I'm still sometimes struggling. Anyways, I must have been like maybe 5 or 6. It was like, was it a writing contest or was it maybe a drawing contest? Maybe it was a drawing contest for like a story. I can't remember. I won a contest. I remember that. And I think it had to do with a story. It was like a story contest. So we saw the dancers train and it was just magical. That building, first of all, is beautiful, but seeing the dancers rehearse and, prepare for a show, and it was just very impressive. And those moments stayed with me. Then one day I was talking about the movie Center Stage on Twitter, and Natalia's voice came into my head. At first, all I knew was that she was 17 and an accident had killed her hope of becoming a professional ballerina. The accident turned her into a car crash that also took her father's life. And that was the beginning of the story. Her voice was sad, and her voice was full of longing and hope, and she started talking to me. And then I told her story. Tea or coffee? I drink both. If I had to choose, probably coffee. Dog or cat? I got that question and I will not choose. Are your characters inspired by people in your life? Yes and no, no and yes. Some things might be inspired by real life. So, for example, the mom's perfume in 123 is Chanel 5, which might be the perfume my dad has gifted my mom for many years. And the mom in 123 is named Natalia, which is my mother-in-law's name. In Fear Me, Fear Me Not, the main character's name is named Erin, like one of my nieces, and the book is dedicated to her. There may be a beagle mixed in Fear Me, Fear Me Not. I have a beagle. In one novel, I think I named the dog Friday, and Friday was a wonderful lab. In A Summer Like No Other, you meet Svetlana, which is my husband's aunt's name. When it comes to the names, like the characteristics of the characters, or at least the relationship or the relationships that they have with other people in the books, is not related to them. So, for example, if you read Fear Me, Fear Me Not, Erin's dad is nothing like my brother-in-law. Not at all. Not one bit. So, actually, one small characteristic of Erin's dad might be inspired by my husband. But he mainly inspires the love interests. Yes, he does. And Alex, if you're listening to this, yes, you know you do. The siblings dynamics, the healthy ones, the ones I get complimented on a lot, is inspired by both my sisters, who I love very, very much and are amazing. So really, I could share a lot more. It's not really that I'm taking an entire, like, a person that I know and put them in my books. That doesn't happen. I'm going to take Alex as an example. The chemical engineer is like one person in one of my books, not at all. But there are certain, like maybe a moment, a feeling, a quirk, a perfume, things that I've experienced too. Like some of those things might end up in the book, but then they become fictionalized. Like it's not one-to-one. You know what I mean? Like, for example, for my mom is nothing like Natalia's mom in 1, 2, 3. The only thing is that there is the perfume, and it's actually related to something nice in the book, like a nice memory. And like the perfume of my mom, it's a nice memory. Like it's a nice feeling. It's a nice thought. It's a nice emotion. And so that is something that I try to convey. So this was maybe a longer answer. In 3 words, what do you enjoy about self-publishing? Flexibility, control, and creativity. So we're going back to 1, 2, 3. I actually self-published that book on the 26th of June, 2014. And 26th of June is my parents' wedding anniversary. This year, they're actually going to celebrate... they got married in 74. So the way I calculate for this, if you're doing any math, is 74 to get to 2000 was 26. 26 plus 21 is going to be 47 years. I could have also done to 2024. Anyways, so they're going to celebrate 47 years of marriage on the 26th of June. And they were celebrating in 2014 40 years. I'm such a good math person. They celebrated 40 years on the 26th of June, 2014. And that's when I released 1, 2, 3. And yeah. And I'm releasing my next book, The Leftover Bride, on August 18th, 2021, which is my 40th birthday. 40-40. Just realized that. Anyways. When you think about writing, what 3 words come to mind? When I think about writing, the 3 words that come to mind are balance, patience, and love. And I will elaborate about this at a later time. Right now, what I want to announce is that next week and in the coming Fridays, I will share interviews with wonderful writers at different stages in their careers. Some are traditionally published, some are hybrid, some are self-published, some are not yet published. Some may not even think about getting published. And next week, I will be chatting with the wonderful Elle Penelope. And there's a short preview of the writers I will chat with that I'm going to share with you, including with Elle Penelope. And they all introduce themselves and tell you what are the 3 words that come to mind when it comes to writing.
Hi, my name is Elle Penelope, and I write fantasy and paranormal romance. I'm also the host of the My Imaginary Friends podcast, where I give you a weekly behind-the-scenes look of my life as an author. My first book is Song of Blood and Stone, and it is the first of the Earthsinger Chronicles epic fantasy romance series. When I think of writing, the first 3 words that come to mind are perseverance, plotting, and keyboard. And those really were the first 3 words that came to mind. I thought I was going for an alliteration thing, and they would all start with P's, but keyboard came in there, and I went with it. Keyboard, because I don't write by hand, and I haven't gotten into dictation, so I wouldn't be able to write without a keyboard at this point in my life. Plotting. Plotting is one of my favorite things to do and to talk about. I collect plotting systems. I like to pull them out when I need them and use them like tools in a toolbox. Some stories need a certain plotting system and other stories need a different one. And sometimes the same story will need multiple plotting systems at different points. And of course, perseverance, which you need for when you're actually doing the writing to finish the book. And when you get into author concerns, publishing, whether it's indie publishing or traditional publishing, perseverance is one of the most important skills a writer can have. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Mona Shroff, and I write contemporary romance. I currently have 2 books out. The first one, my debut, was Then, Now, Always, and my current one out is Then There Was You. I am currently working on a 3rd book for HQN and 2 more books for the special edition line at Harlequin. And when I think of writing, the 3 words that come to mind are love, fun, and challenge. I can't wait to talk to you, Elodie. I look forward to our time together. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Megan Carter, and I'm an actor and audiobook narrator who also writes. My background is mostly in performance, specifically stage work and classical theater, but I've dabbled in writing in lots of different genres, from podcast and storytelling to stage plays to stand-up comedy. I've written a one-woman show based on the Greek myth of Medea, which I've performed parts of in workshop settings, and I've also recently finished a 4th draft of my first novel. When I think of writing, the 3 words that come to mind are voice, flow, and core. Talk to you soon.
Hi, my name is Katie Epperman. I am a wife and a mom. I am a book lover and I am an author. I write books for teens and teens at heart, and it is the best job ever. My 3 published books are called Kissing Max Holden, The Impossibility of Us, and How the Light Gets In. And when I think of writing, the 3 words that come to mind are creativity, therapeutic, and community. So, Elodie, thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to talk to you more soon.
If you'd like to ask me questions about self-publishing, writing, my books, you can send me an email at author@elodienowodatsky@gmail.com. Nowodatsky again is spelled Nowodazkij. Or you can also go to the anchor.fm website. The link is in today's episode's description. And you can actually send me a message. You can record yourself and then I can play it and respond directly to you. So don't hesitate. I'd love to answer your questions in one of my future podcasts. Thank you. As always, thank you for listening, and don't hesitate to subscribe, rate and or review, share with your friends. And if you're a writer, happy writing. And to everyone, happy reading.